right, good evening. Don't know if anyone's going to see me live. Let's find out because sometimes StreamYard will have issues connecting, but I believe that it is working. So hopefully this goes through. Let me see if I can get a few people watching in here. And let me go to my chat window really quick, make sure everything's on the upside here. You guys are just joining in. Don't forget to hit that like button. And let me know if you guys can hear me, can see me okay. See, can you guys hear me? Can y'all see me? So I just finished watching All Out, which is AEW's pay-per-view, and it's usually their second biggest pay-per-view of the year, which All In would be their first, All Out, and then whatever else, Fyter Fest, Full Gear, whatever you want to call them, right? And for the most part, I wasn't super disappointed with the pay-per-view, but I guess we'll go ahead and wait for a few more people to join in here first. Let's find out. Let me go ahead and like this, and let me see if anyone's willing to join in tonight. It's a Saturday night tonight, so looks like I got a few likes tonight. So we can discuss the card, the matches, etc. like that. I don't know why my Twitter is like glitching out. Let me know if you guys like that countdown thing at the beginning, by the way. See how it goes. Let me test this out really quick. Hello. Okay, just making sure. I want to make sure that my stuff is linked up here because, again, StreamYard could be glitchy sometimes. And hopefully I can get at least a couple people in here tonight. If not, well, then maybe it's YouTube notification system. But I want to give huge shout outs to Rob for inspiring me to do a little bit more live streams, just because he's been super interactive with his YouTube channel, and he's been streaming like 2 to 3 times weekly, but for not just for a bit, for like hours. This guy will be on for like 3 to 5 hours just streaming, and that shows dedication to his channel, to his craft, and to his audience. So, hey. Behave. Sorry guys, my dogs are barking. So let me see if I can get a few people in the chat here, and if not, then I will delete this chat and I will delete forever, and I will stop live streaming on Saturday nights. We'll see if I can get a few people in tonight. In the meantime, let me go over the AEW card. Let's see, AEW All Out 2020. You can get that from SI.com. Shout outs to them. But yeah, the full match card. And this isn't in any specific order right now. Pre-match is Dr. Britt Baker, or pre-show versus with Rebel versus Big Swole. And I don't think that wasn't a pre-show match. That was actually like the first match of the night. And then you had the 21-man Casino Battle Royale, Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara. The Broken Rules match was very disappointing, but for specific reason. Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus versus the Young Bucks. That was an okay match. That was probably one of the better matches of the night. The Dark Order, Brody Lee and Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson versus Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky. That was like a 4-on-4 matchup as well. I'm not going to name them all. Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy, the Mimosa Mayhem match. The AEW Tag Team Championship match with Kenny Omega and Adam Page. I was going to say Adam Cole. And AEW Women's Championship match, Hikaru Shida versus Thunder Rosa, which probably to me was the match of the night. AEW World Championship match, John Moxley versus MJF with Wardlow, which I don't know why they actually allowed him to be in that match. But let me see. Again, guys. Maybe it's YouTube's algorithm over here. Maybe it's not showing me. Let me share this with my friend really quick. Anything? I mean, I should be live. But viewership has gone down significantly, by the way. I don't know what's going on. But I guess because school started again, you know, you're gonna see a little bit of viewership down. Let's see. Making sure. It says I have 2 people watching. If you guys are just joining in, don't forget to say hi on the stream. I really want to know if StreamYard is just glitching out or what. Of course, my dogs are fighting and going crazy in the background over here. So, Tech for your needs. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? I've been streaming for about a good 5 minutes already, and I wasn't really getting anything. So I was trying to figure out if it was my connection or what. So, welcome to the chat, man. Again, I titled this. What did I title this? Oh my goodness. Sorry, Tech for your needs. My dogs are going nuts. Another reason why I didn't. This is another reason why I decided to get a studio, but I'm not there right now. Audio and video is good. Okay, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, so I'm over here trying to discuss, you know, All Out, which is the pay-per-view that just happened. I don't know if you're a wrestling fan or not. Maybe you are, and maybe you're not. I don't know. But AEW's All Out was tonight, so I wanted to get, you know, my whoever follows me's input or feedback on the pay-per-view, what their favorite match was, you know, what they hated about the pay-per-view, etc. Because you know, it just finished. And it was a little bit of a snore to me, half of the pay-per-view at least. So I wasn't really too invested in it, but, you know, I really want to know what other people think and see what was going on there. And, you know, you say my stream sounds good and it looks good, so that's good enough for me, you know what I mean? But yeah, again, you know, this could be a general chat also. Tech for your needs. How's it going, man? I hope everything's good for you. Haven't seen you in some of my live streams in a while, bro. So I remember there's been a couple of times where it's just solely you that hit up my live streams, and then there's other times when you're not here and I have like 6 to 10 people. So I don't know what's going on there, bro. But yeah, I mean, I think you missed my other live stream in the week when, you know, we were just chit chatting a couple nights ago, actually, and just about whatever, you know what I mean? We were going over whatever, I guess. I don't know. We're talking about the you know what virus. We're talking about life in general. So how's everything going with you, man? What's new with you? Me personally, aside from like the Pixel 4a, you know, I got this new Umidigi S2 watch, you know what I mean? So I've been kind of messing around with this the past couple of days, so I'll probably wear this to work tomorrow just to get a little bit more. Tech for Your Need says, not a wrestling fan, but back in the days, my dad used to take me and my sister. So back in your day, you know what, I mean, I know you're a little bit older than I am, obviously, right? I'm in my, like, I would say my mid-30s already, right? But what kind of shows did your father take you to, and your sister? And, you know, did you enjoy yourself as a kid when you were out there watching those shows? Or was it something that, you know, was just, you know, something to pass the time? Okay, I'm just making sure. It says that I'm having it says there's a few people in the chat, but again, guys, I'm not getting any comments or feedback from anybody else. So if you guys are joining in, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to say hi as well. And, you know, we'll get this going. But see, I would like to see if Rob wanted to join in on the chat. See if he wants to join in. So I'll send him an invite, but I don't know if he will want to, but that's okay. Rob is a big wrestling fan also, that's why. So we'll see how that goes. If he's not busy, that is, but we'll see. All right, he says he'll join for a bit. All right, got it. All right, let's see. We'll do a quick countdown or whatever. Just you're in your mid-40s and I enjoy it, but once I found out it was fake, I lost interest. Well, I mean, it is fake. I mean, anyone that finds out about it, that it's fake, can what's the word? You know, they get a little bit antsy at first. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's, you know, once you learn it's fake. When I think I found out wrestling was fake when I was probably like 9 or 10 years old, probably, and that's when I was already like heavily invested in wrestling. And back then, it was like, you know, there was internet wasn't around or whatever. So like, you know, when I found out it wasn't real, I was like, oh man, like I was kind of disappointed. But then at the same time, I didn't really care, just because like I still enjoyed the shows, I still enjoyed like the matches and everything like that. So even though back then a lot of things were, you know, you find out wrestling's fake and it's predetermined, right? For me, it was like, well, I wasn't finding out who was going to win the match anyway, because again, there wasn't spoilers and the internet wasn't crazy going on at the time. So see if I can get Rob in here. Maybe we can talk a little bit about wrestling and today's wrestling community or whatever. See if I can get him in here at all. All right, let's see. But yeah, I should be getting Rob in here in just a few seconds, bro. So let's see. He said he was going to join. I already sent him the link. So hopefully he does. Hopefully he doesn't. Or I mean, not hopefully he doesn't, but going to try to get a little more interactive with my streams also, you know what I mean? Especially stuff like this, I guess. And I think I'm going to end up paying for StreamYard, the paid-for version, just because it's got a lot more features than the free version. Plus, I think the free version only gives you 20 hours of streaming time. So looks like we got Rob here for now. So let me go ahead and add him into the stream. I'm going to add you into the stream, Rob, okay? Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
All right. I'm just hoping that your voice doesn't echo since I don't have any headphones on or anything like that. I don't think it should, though.
No, you're good. I mean, this microphone does pretty well, too. So
yeah, I'm piggybacking off the webcam microphone over here. So I just finished watching AEW All Out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you follow AEW much, Rob. I know that's not something I've really discussed with you. But this stream is kind of catered towards that, and of course anything in general, right? Any wrestling or tech chat, whatever you guys want to do. I've been following your streams a lot the past couple of days. So I gave you a shout out a little while ago saying that you've been kind of going hard on the streams, and like I think you were like on for like 5 hours the other day.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was like, man, this guy's like invested right now, man. He's getting his money's worth on StreamYard though. So
yeah,
so I totally understand that.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I follow AEW news. I haven't really watched anything from them.
Yeah.
I follow WWE, obviously. I'm not too happy with it. The way that the direction that they're going, I mean, the Thunderdome is cool on that. I give that much at least, but
yeah, I give them props for that.
I think it was a good move to push Roman Reigns as a heel. I just don't think they needed Paul Heyman with him.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. Actually, I don't really care for Paul Heyman as another like guy, a manager, other than for Brock Lesnar, right? But I guess because Brock Lesnar is now not contracted by WWE, it's like one of those things where okay, Paul Heyman's still there, and we can still use him to be annoying, right? So let's use him with Roman Reigns since he's one of the top guys. I mean, I guess a lot of people weren't expecting that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, this is a heel turn that Roman Reigns should have did like 2 or 3 years ago. I think people wanted Roman Reigns to turn heel like several years ago. And I was telling my buddies about it. I was like, first of all, this heel turn is way too late already. Like, I understand he like went through leukemia, you know what I mean? And, he had to drop the title last year when he got sick, you know what I mean? And he came back, and he's always been kind of the face of that generation, or I guess of his generation, you know what I mean? Him and like, you can say Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins also, right? Those were like the 3 top guys that came out of that, specific, I guess, era of wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, Vince pushed Roman Reigns down our throats more than he did the other 2 guys. Dean Ambrose, aka John Moxley, he got over on his own, right? And so did Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins was probably the best heel, or had one of the best heel runs of like the last couple of years when he cashed in the Money in the Bank, ladder match. Even though he did have a little bit of help from the Authority, you know what I mean, or whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean. But I think it was still really fun to watch. And at the time, when he was feuding with guys like Sting, and he was a double champion, U.S. champion and WWE champion at the same time, I was like, this is badass. And then for him to lose all his momentum and get hurt and mess up his knee, that kind of sucked. You know what I mean? It really sucks when something like that happens, because you're really trying to like back somebody, and then once something happens like that, it just goes down from there. So, but yeah, I mean, tonight, you know what I mean? I don't know if you say you didn't really watch the pay-per-view. I kind of bootleg it off one of those websites that you can just kind of watch it off of, right? But YouTube isn't hearing that from me, right? But no, I mean, so it was somewhat of a decent card. One match that interested me was Thunder Rosa versus AEW Women's Champion Hikaru. And that one, it's because it's an interpromotional championship match. That's why. So Thunder Rosa is the NWA Women's Champion, and then you have the AEW Women's Champion. So I thought that was interesting that Tony Khan actually, went out there and let his guard down, I guess, and let other wrestlers from other promotions in, which is very hard to do. I wouldn't say it's very hard to do, but I guess Billy Corgan was up for it. You know what I mean? And to me, it's like a win-win because like you never know, you might see some of AEW's talent pull over into NWA's territory, maybe eventually. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. You might see the NWA champion jump in and say, hey, I want to fight against John Moxley for the AEW title or whatever. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's better rating. It's a win-win for fans because you're seeing like the best of all worlds. You're seeing one promotion's best versus the other's best, but you really want to know like, hey, who's the better? And it was a great match. You know what I mean? I think, honestly, to be honest, like I feel like Thunder Rosa had like, the most of the match for her. You know what I mean? But at the same time, she's on somebody else's show, so she's got to put over the the AEW champion, right? Which I completely respected. You know what I mean? But that was to me one of the best matches of the night. So, but I mean, speaking of the Thunderdome, I know WWE is kind of trying to get away from the live crowd, and it's for good reason, right? You know what I mean? People are still fighting the virus, and AEW on the other hand still has a crowd, or they had somewhat of a crowd. It wasn't a huge crowd, I think they probably have a max of like 50 people in there at the most, probably, and they spread them out through like the entire little arena that they have there, which is like their football stadium or whatever. So I guess my thoughts on that are like, it's cool, but it's also, I guess, could still be dangerous. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that personally because I had the virus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I know that this shit's not fake and that it's not real, or I mean that it's real. I'm sorry, I'm like getting tongue tied here, but it's one of those things where at least when I looked at the fans in the crowd or whatever, they had their masks on. So there's that, I guess. So,
what up, Lawrence? We got Lawrence here. Let me answer Text Pretty Needs question. Favorite wrestler of all time, believe it or not, it's Jeff Hardy.
Oh wow, okay. He is currently the IC IC champion, by the way.
I'm surprised they put the belt on him because right now I feel like Jeff is just there to put people over.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think he's gonna probably try to end his run in WWE. I mean, he's got a few more good years like Matt Hardy. And I completely agree with you. Yeah, that he's going to be there to put over talent. But I feel like guys like him and Rey Mysterio still have a lot in the tank left. You know what I mean? And if you look at it, you had guys like Ric Flair wrestling until he was like in his mid-50s or late 50s. You know what I mean? And Jeff Hardy, him and Matt Hardy, they're like early 40s. You know what I mean? Although
Jeff Hardy at like 56 years old, still dyeing his hair rainbow coming out. He's trying to, but then that kind of
no. But like tonight, like for example, like what scared the crap out of me is Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara is like 23 years old. He's a young guy, right?
Yeah.
They had what was called like it was like basically just like a no holds barred match or like a street fight, I guess. Yeah. And they ended up in the back of the arena or somewhere, and Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara got in like one of those little lifts that takes you up, right? And they jumped off, and they were supposed to hit 2 tables, but they overshot it, and Matt landed wrong. So if you, I don't know if you'll see the video later on that.
I'll find highlights on it. That's how I watch it.
But yeah, it was an ugly fall, man. Honestly, I thought Matt died because he wasn't moving and he didn't get up at all. Like I was like, holy shit. Like, and there's a lot of people that were pissed off because of that, by the way. So like, if you go on Twitter or whatever, you'll see like a bunch of AEW marks say like, why didn't they stop the match? Matt, once he actually regained consciousness, because I legit do believe that he was knocked out for like maybe like a good minute or so, and the referee, you can tell she was like freaking out. She was like, holy shit. Like, she was trying to get like the medics to come over. But then when he finally came to, like, he tried to get up, you know what I mean? Because was it an Iron Man match? No, it was what is it where they have to count to 10? Last man standing match. That's what it was. That's what it was. But they renamed it because I guess they don't want to get sued by WWE, probably, right? But yeah, no. So it was a last man standing match where, of course, like they started counting, and he finally he could not like even walk. Like, he literally tripped and fell over as soon as he got up the first time. And then when he was trying to again pull Sammy off to the side to like start fighting him again, he just kept stumbling, man, and you can tell like he was very concussed. And they continued the match, but then like finally the doctor came in and they stopped the match, right? And I was like, oh shit, like they're finally like they should have did this from the get-go. Like as soon as he fell, like they should have stopped the match. So I think that's why a lot of people were pissed. So then they finally stopped the match, but then I guess Matt was like, no, I'm good to go. Like I can continue fighting. But even then, like even after they restarted the match, it only lasted about like 2 minutes, and then they ended it really quick. And then I heard or I read somewhere that he did end up going to the hospital. So they're checking up on him right now, and for good choice. You know what I mean? Let's see, what's this guy saying over here? No, it's The Rock. What's
No,
going on?
Jeff Hardy.
Your favorite wrestler is The Rock. It doesn't matter. No, so I mean, my favorite wrestler, I think, I guess, you know, everyone has like a favorite wrestler. When growing up, it was probably Stone Cold, obviously, because of his popularity. But if I have to say like my favorite wrestler, like the one that actually like I enjoyed watching wrestle, it was probably Bret Hart. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and I feel,
yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people don't give Bret Hart the credit that he deserves. You know what I mean? Because like he did a lot for WWF. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show on Vice called like Dark Side of the Ring or whatever. But like if you watch that Screwjob episode with him, like it's like pretty intense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude,
yeah.
I watched the documentary and everything, man. Yeah, they even talked about it. You know, he freaking laid one into Vince McMahon. That was not fake. Like,
oh yeah, no. A lot of people think it was a work, and I'm just like, no, like you can't. That is not a work. You know what I mean? Like it legitimately happened. You know what I mean? Like they're here interviewing people. I think, but they interviewed a few wrestlers that did think it was a work. So I was just like, well, shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think some of my favorite matches were like Bret Hart versus like Shawn Michaels, or even Bret Hart versus like Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know what I mean? Like he was just one of those guys that I can compare him to modern day AJ Styles, right? Where you know AJ Styles, you can stick him in the ring with anybody, and he'll make the other person look amazing, even if they're horrible. You know what I mean? And that's just like the type of wrestler Bret Hart was. You know, he knew how to sell. You know, he knew how to sell punches when he was getting hit. He knew how to look like he was hitting somebody. You know what I mean? And it he even says he was very professional. I don't think he said he never hurt anyone in the ring. You know what I mean? In all of his time that he was wrestling. So I think that's
from Dino Bravo.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe. I mean, I know he got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt. His chest got crushed.
I know his chest got crushed. Yeah, I remember that match. I remember watching that. I think when it happened. And it was just like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, you know, people say wrestling's fake. You know, Tech for Your Needs was over here saying like, well, my dad was taking me to wrestling shows when I was a kid, but once I found out it was fake, you know, I lost interest. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people might lose interest when they find out initially that wrestling's fake. But like I was telling him, I'm like, when I was a kid, like, you know, internet wasn't around, and you know, you still weren't aware of spoilers or things that were going on behind the scenes. You know, so even when I found out wrestling was fake, I was like, okay, I know that the matches are predetermined now, but at the same time, I'm just like, well, I'm not finding out what's happening because like I don't have access to that. You know what I mean? So yeah, Tech for Your Needs says good point on making other people look good, but I don't know, Rob.
With Paul White.
Paul White.
When he did the interview when he first came to the WWE and he went one-on-one with Stone Cold, and he said like it was such a different atmosphere from WCW. Stone Cold wanted him to really hit him, and so he was like trying to tell him, you know, when they would tie up or when they would get like to the turnbuckle, like, you know, come on, like, you know, let me have one, give me one, and he gave Stone Cold one. He's like, there you go, that's what I'm looking for. And so Paul White realized like, yeah, it's fake to an extent, but sometimes you know it will take like the real bumps to sell it.
I mean, completely true. I mean, and the fact is, like, a lot of these wrestlers are recovering from like torn knees, torn shoulders, you know, broken whatever, you know what I mean? And people don't realize that this thing is, you know, the injuries are real, the falls are real. You know, I mean that I've been in a wrestling ring before, so I know how thin that padding is. Because you know, I mean, like I've been to local.
Showed that at Payback.
Yeah,
no,
and
Payback.
like,
was it Payback? No, SummerSlam.
Yeah. So I mean, I know how you know, thick those plywoods are as well, or how thick that plywood is as well, you know, and how much it can hurt on the bones. So are you here to get at Chula or no?
Yes, but she went.
Okay,
Somebody
well.
went into the restroom.
Aw. Sorry, my mom's
Oh no,
my mom's talking in the background really quick. Sorry about that.
bro,
But
my
yeah,
kids
no,
come in here.
yeah, no, yeah. At least they're not on camera, right? No, so yeah, tonight, I think all of the wrestling pay-per-views this year have been kind of underachievement, I guess, or underachieving. What's the word? They haven't been great. Ever since WrestleMania, I just feel like it's obviously it's not the same because you don't have that same. Yeah, you just don't have the same reaction that you have with the crowd. Even though WWE is starting to pump in like that fake audio from past events, you know what I mean? Which I think is super hilarious. I think it's super funny, but at the same time, okay, I guess it feels like it adds a little bit of an element to what's going on, especially because like you need to hear how people are reacting to this. Otherwise, it's just not going to be interesting. But before they even brought the fans back, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you followed when Edge returned, right? But they were cutting some amazing promos without any crowds. You know what I mean? I think that was good for. I think it's good for the talent because first of all, they're not getting as tongue tied as they would have if they have a loud crowd booing them in the background to make them lose their train of thought. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's easier for them to focus on what's going on like in here rather than around them. You know what I mean? So I felt like that was a good thing for them. You know what I mean? And now with the Thunderdome, I don't know. Like if it was me, I would just be staring out into the fake crowd. But I think at one of the last WWE pay-per-views, I think Randy Orton was fighting for the championship, right? And he was walking into the fake crowd, right? And if you pay attention, he was actually looking at one of the little screens. And I was like, I love this because first of all, he would do that in real life if there was a person there, like he would be giving the other person shit, you know what I mean? Just like if it was like a regular, like a house show, you know what I mean? So I was like, why aren't other wrestlers doing this? You know what I mean? Like Randy Orton didn't. Why can't other wrestlers do it? You know what I mean? I thought
Randy Orton takes his he takes it pretty serious. I mean, not a lot of people know, like what he did to Kofi Kingston because of what happened, that botch that happened, and he got upset. So he RKO'd him, and then you just hear him just calling him stupid. And people are like, I mean, that wasn't really part of the thing. It was just, Kofi did something that he shouldn't have done in the ring. And like Randy Orton's very serious about that. He takes his in-ring performance serious, and also with talent that he works with. Like he wants an environment that's safe, that they can do what they got to do in the ring. And basically, keep each other safe, because no one wants injury. No one wants to be laid out for 6-7 months. And all the momentum they built, they lose it because of injury.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Randy, I've heard a lot about Randy Orton. He's an a-hole. Like if you screw up in the ring, he will rip you one. And even in the back, he'll rip you another one.
He'll give you a receipt. Yeah, I hear a lot of that terminology being used now on even on air now. You know what I mean? Like I've been hearing it a lot more lately, like saying like, oh, I owe that guy a receipt. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't really understand what that terminology is, especially when it comes to wrestling. You know what I mean? Like they don't know what the word botch means or false finish or anything like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, if you're not a wrestling fan, familiar, sorry guys. Like I know I don't have that many people watching right now. And I don't know. Let's see. Tech for Your Needs, yada yada yada. Looks like Tech for Your Needs is like the only one here chit chatting. So Tech for Your Needs, thanks again for joining in on the chat tonight. Channel 808 Life. He did say something about The Rock. So by the way, speaking of The Rock, he actually announced recently that he did test positive for COVID-19 along with his family. So hopefully they all get better and then nothing happens. Obviously, right? But I mean, for real, it's a real thing, and anyone can get sick from it. Obviously, even superstars like him, who have it. I would say have it a little. I guess that they can be a little more secluded from people because they're millionaires, not like us, right? Where we have to go to a grocery store, they can just get someone to go buy their crap for them, probably. But yeah, man, tonight's AEW All Out event was a little bit lackluster, but to me, I feel like they're still trying too hard to be better than WWE, if you know what I mean. So I was telling that to one of my friends, right? Because I feel like some of the matches that they're having, they're just kind of going over the top, and these are new ideas, like that tonight they had Chris Jericho fought against Orange Cassidy in a mimosa match. I don't know if you heard about that one.
No.
But basically, they had each side of the ring had a pool with like orange juice and champagne filled with in it, and basically whoever throws the other opponent into the pool wins the match. Basically, so whoever, yeah. So Jericho lost that match. So one of my friends was like, "That's 2 matches that Jericho invents that he loses already." So Money in the Bank being one of them, and then the Mimosa match being another. But also like, okay, they had a 21-man battle royal, right? Like, which is like their version of the Royal Rumble, right? But their rules are a little bit differently. I don't like, they try to explain it at the beginning, but basically like they start off with 5 people.
I'll be right back. Take over.
Oh no, go for it. So they start off with 5 people, right? And then every 3 minutes or so, like 1 or 2 guys like pick a suit of cards in the back, and then that determines their order of who gets in and who gets out. And it's almost similar to WWE, where yes, they have to get knocked over the top rope in order to win. But at the same time, they can still go under the rope, they can still go through the rope, and they can still run interference on the actual match. So to me, it's like, okay, they want to be so different than WWE, but yet they're knocking off a lot of things that WWE is doing or was doing. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously the Royal Rumble is a different event, and it's once a year. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where like I feel like they're just trying way too hard to do it or to be better than WWE, and I think they're putting their talent at risks, especially guys like Matt Hardy, who's been doing it forever. You know what I mean? Like that match might have been an okay match for Matt Hardy like 10 years ago, but now it's like, okay, dude, the guy literally fell like 15 feet. I don't know if it was 15 feet or not, but he literally fell. And if you ever get a chance to see the video, I'm sure it's roaming around on Twitter somewhere, but literally they overshot it. He landed on his shoulders and his head, and it just didn't look right. Like anyone that looked, any real wrestling fan that like saw that knew right away that like he landed that wrong. You know what I mean? So like for like, I get that they're trying to like overshadow WWE in on their hardcore matches, and they have blood in like every other match now. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, really, is it necessary? You know what I mean? Do we have to be that hardcore all the time? You know what I mean? Like I remember back then, like, you know, in the late 90s, it wasn't, I mean, Attitude Era was a lot different, right? And it was a good time to watch and be a wrestling fan. But, you know, I feel like sometimes that they saved those special matches and moments for like big events, not just like, you know, regular plain Jane pay-per-view, I guess. But I guess we're so used to seeing WWE pay-per-views now, like it's not every month, it's every couple of weeks now, you know what I mean? So like for WWE, that might be different now, obviously, because they have the following and they have the backing of it, and they have their own network. AEW obviously still barely in its infancy, right? But if you look at it, you know that people are, you know, John Moxley was at the top of PWA's top 500 list already for the year, so they're already showcasing their champion as the #1 guy in all of wrestling. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, like, you know, if your company is basically already being compared to WWE, which, you know, there's other companies out there that have been around longer, you know, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, you know what I mean? Obviously New Japan, you know, those are like the big 3 or 4, whatever you want to call them. You know, you would think that they would be putting some of their talent on the list, like, you know, Okada, for instance, in Japan, or Naito, or I'm just name dropping, right? My friend would be very proud of me because I'm not a big New Japan fan, but but he loves New Japan. That's why. So let's see, how do you compare today's wrestling to times you had growing up? Ooh, that's a good question, Rob.
Oh man, well, I'll say this: wrestling today, I don't know. Sometimes I think that, you know, Vince's age is showing with the way the direction the company's going. Because like, you know, when you look back, like in the '80s, right, it was all about, you know, the good guy always defeating the bad guy. Good guys won the championship, bad guys lose. And then you go into the dawn of the Attitude Era, and, you know, it just kind of exploded where like the heels were getting more of the championships, which made it great because when a face finally came along to take the title from the heel, it was like a glorious moment. And then, of course, you had Stone Cold, who was like everyone's hero because he got to beat up his boss every night. And that's what he wanted to do in real life, you know?
Yeah.
So it just continued to get more edgier, just progressed into that. I mean, Come on now. Does everyone remember the infamous Edge and Lita in the ring moment?
The rated R sex show, you mean?
Yeah, the rated R sex show where it ended up being a comical joke when someone decided to point out that Edge couldn't rise to the occasion, and they used. So, I mean, it was edgy, it was provocative, and it was to that point. And then I never like the blood, like I mean, if people don't know, wrestlers do sometimes blade themselves for the blood effect. And they were okay with that being seen on TV. I mean, I know USA has like their policies and things like that, but Vince just kind of takes it and brings it back to PG. Did not make sense to me because today's generation is more out of control than what it was when I was growing up. So it just doesn't match with how the generation has progressed. Like,
I don't know. For me, like, how do you compare today's wrestling from times you had growing up? Well, like I was saying earlier, like, today, like, anytime you log into social media, you're seeing something going on, or like some sort of wrestling news, company or whatever, like, or Dave Meltzer or whoever you want to call or whatever is posting something, or posting rumors, or posting speculation, or posting something about what's going to happen, or something about the character. And it just kind of, to me, it kills wrestling, I guess, in 2020, because there's really no surprise anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when there is a surprise, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the last big pop that we have all heard earlier in the year was when Edge returned, right, at the 2020 Royal Rumble. That, because they kept that such hush, like, under wraps, even though it had been speculated for like the past few months that he might make a return. Like, no one really knew like when it was going to happen. You know what I mean, personally, I was hoping the Royal Rumble, but I was like, I wasn't expecting it, because every time I think someone's going to return, like CM Punk or whoever else out there, it's always a big disappointment. You know what I mean? Because I feel like WWE drops the ball on stuff like that, like, a lot. You know what I mean? They have so many opportunities and then they screw it up, right? But like, when that happened, I was like legitimately happy. And I was marking out just like the rest of the marks out there. You know what I mean? Like, like, I loved it. I enjoyed myself. But
it was good.
Like,
it was a good way to do it. Like, it really was.
And
I wasn't expecting Edge at the Royal Rumble. The moment you hear that phrase, you think you know me, and it's like, I got up from my seat, and my kids were looking at me like I was weird, because I was just going bananas. I was like,
that's the thing, like, your kids, they're not old enough to know Edge's history, or like, when we were watching in the late 90s, early 2000s, right, when Edge was, getting popular, and he went from a tag team career to a solos career, and how his career moved forward, like, and he had a lot of good feuds. Like, I think my favorite feud with him is with him and John Cena. That was my favorite feud that he had, like, in his entire, like, feudship with, I guess, any type of other character, right? And just because, like, I feel like Edge just got under John Cena's skin so much, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he was like the guy that he couldn't beat half the time, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, like, eventually John Cena beat him, yada yada yada, right? But it was so funny, because I feel like, the Edge was kind of like that era's Joker, where he was always kind of like a step ahead, even if he was like, not, even if he wasn't, doing it the right way, he was always cheating or something in order to get to the top, right? Whether it be like, again, cashing in the Money in the Bank at, like, New Year's Revolution that one year. I mean, do you remember that? Do you remember that when he cashed in on John Cena? And I remember watching that match. That was a brutal match prior to him going out there, and it was well, it was just so. I was marking out then also, because I remember, like, the WWE Network didn't exist, so I would actually have to go to like bars or whatever to go watch the pay-per-views. You know what I mean? Yeah. So. For me, it was like, man, like, this is badass, because like, you didn't just hear the pop in the crowd, but you hear the pop that was all the people that were around you at the bar that were watching with you, because they were all there to watch the same thing. You know what I mean? So you just don't get that in 2020. You know what I mean? You just don't get that type of fan experience. And, even the last couple of shows that I went to, you know what I mean? And I've been to a lot of WWE shows, you know what I mean? But the last couple of shows that I went to had Ronda Rousey, and there was like, the last one was, I think, February of 2019. And, again, half the stadium didn't even sell out. You know what I mean? It's maybe a 6,000 or 7,000 seat stadium, and maybe like 2,500 to 3,000 people ended up going to the event. And, when there's just not that many people there, the excitement is just not as much, or at least in my opinion, it's not. You know what I mean? Like, But I've been to shows where it's like completely sold out as well, even if it's just like a local live, like, or a local house show, you know what I mean? Like I've had it sold out where guys like The Undertaker main evented, you know what I mean? And you would hear like such huge pops, you know what I mean? Watching Kurt Angle, I was able to watch CM Punk, you know, just a lot of, you know, wrestlers that were popular at the time. And it's just like, it was so different watching it just a couple of years last year, because it's just like, it just wasn't the same. You know, you can tell the fans were not invested. So, you know, I feel like, you know, the era from back then when we were, you know, a lot younger up till now, it's just like, okay, first of all, that generation is just, you know, we're all adults now, obviously, right? So we still enjoy and watch it, but it's like, I feel like it's different for the kids that are starting to watch it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you tell me, I mean, can I ask you a question? Do your kids watch wrestling? Are they invested into it? Do they pay attention to it or anything like that? You know?
No, I mean my daughters will watch it with me just to do something with me. But like, if you were to just talk wrestling, just basic general, they don't know storylines. They don't follow it.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And that's the thing. Like, you know, I feel like, and not to bash on this generation of children or anything like that, they have a shorter attention span, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like back then we didn't have a lot of options, right? You know what I mean? Like not a lot of people had cable, or we didn't have internet back then. So like whatever was put in front of you, you had to watch and you had to pay attention to. You know what I mean? So now it's like, now we're all on our smartphones. You know what I mean? I'm watching the show half the time. I'm on my phone now, but I'm still trying to pay attention to what's going on. You know what I mean? But it's a lot different now than it was 15 years ago. Oh snap! It looks like we have RFK Tech in here. What's up, RFK?
I think it's it's that, you know, the short attention span with today's generation, but it's to me also it's social media. Like,
yeah,
I get why Vince was so tough on the talent when he was talking about, like, you know, don't break kayfabe. He wasn't for, you know, Austin Creed having up down down. You know, Asuka has a YouTube channel, and the reason why is because, like, it's really hard for anyone to really kind of gravitate towards it, even though they know that, like, it's fake. We already predetermined who's going to become champion at the next pay-per-view, but it's hard to, you know, to sell a feud, and then you go to up down down and you see two people that's going to battle for the Raw Women's Championship playing a game together. I mean, that just totally it. So
I think I've noticed that also. You know what I mean? And I don't necessarily agree of what Vince is doing, because, like, again, it is 2020, right? And a lot of these wrestlers are, you know, again, they're making money outside of WWE, aside from what's going on, what they do there, right? A lot of them get endorsements on things like Twitch or YouTube or whatever. A lot of people blame Lana for it. You know, I don't know what happened with Lana exactly. Point the finger to Lana, right? It's Lana's fault. But you know what? A lot of other wrestlers were doing this, you know, prior to Vince getting PO'd about it and just putting his foot down already. And it has to be for good reason, obviously, right? I don't know if it's because of the whole kayfabe thing or whatever. I think that might be a part of it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, if you have a wrestler that's a heel hanging out with somebody that's not a heel and they're best friends in real life, let's say Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, right? Where they are best friends in real life, right? But on television, they're supposed to be enemies and whatever. You know what I mean? What's up, Tech for Your Needs? How's it going? Tech
How do you feel about that stalker incident with Sonya Deville?
Yeah, I think that's probably why she's taking a little bit of time off, actually, or that they kind of wrote her off TV a little bit just because I think she has to, you know, face that perpetrator in court, and they have to just get away from that, and she has to just take the time off, right? So I'm sure she'll be back. I don't think she's gone forever. Obviously, they're never written off TV forever.
When
right?
I read that article, I was like, wait a minute, like she had a legit stalker who drove to where she lived, met her on Instagram, threatened to kill Mandy Rose, and broke into her house.
Yeah,
luckily he went upstairs, and they were able to get out, man. Because imagine if she ran upstairs, he would have had them.
Yeah, correct. Well, luckily, I mean, the only thing that I have comfort in is that she knows she has MMA background experience. So I'm hoping that the guy wasn't like strap packing or anything like that, like with any weapons, right? But at least
right?
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, I know at least to some degree, at least she could have defended herself if necessary. You know what I mean? And it's scary. It's a scary thing, man, especially because, like, people know where you're at all times now. You know what I mean? And that's what social media is doing to the business nowadays. You know.
Carlos,
but what's up, RFK? Tech for Needs, Carlos. Well, Carlos Tech. I think that's one of your buddies, right? I haven't I haven't
Yeah.
seen his live streams, or I haven't seen his YouTube channel, but I've seen him on your live stream. But yeah, guys, we're just talking about wrestling tonight. I mean, I just finished watching WWE not WWE, AEW All Out. We were talking about WWE. So no, we were talking. I mean, I just finished watching All Out, which is AEW's pay-per-view. I don't want to spoil it for you guys if you haven't seen it, by the way. But I was discussing a little bit of the pay-per-view with Rob. Trying to fill him in, and just let him know, like, hey, these were my thoughts on the match. Did any of you guys watch AEW's All Out, or what was y'all's opinion on it? Again,
we're photo of like Matt and that spill, because sometimes you can probably find it like hours after.
Yeah, I think AEW had it posted on their Twitter, but then they took it down because it was like a legit fall. And his wife is pissed off about it, by the way.
Oh,
Rebby Hardy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, someone showed me a screenshot of her text messages to him that said "What the f?" like she was pissed off, and for good reason. Like, he has 3 young boys, you know what I mean? Like, he could have broken his neck on that fall, you know what I mean? Or even worse, you know what I mean? I mean, again, like, I thought he was dead. Like, he was not moving. He legit was just laying there, and I thought at one point he stopped breathing. I was like, oh shit, like, he's not even breathing. And that's because it was like it was an ugly fall, but like, it was the way he fell, that again he went back, and like, again, his head went first, other than like his shoulders are supposed to, you know what I mean? So that's what was the scary part about it. But welcome to my channel, guys. Carlos Tech. Again, I'm not too familiar with you, bro, but I mean, if you follow me, man, thanks for watching. RFK, man. Again, this is a wrestling chat, but you can also fill in on whatever you guys want to talk about. It's general chat and Q&A also. Rob was nice enough to join in tonight, so thanks again, man.
Yeah, sub to them, to Ricky and Carlos, because like.
Sure. Well, yeah, I'm sub to RFK. I haven't subbed to Carlos yet, though.
Sub to him because he actually, like, so what, the thing with Carlos is like, he has every carrier, and because he travels a lot for business, you know what I mean? So he does speed tests, all like, Arizona. He lives in Nevada, but Nevada, Arizona, California, New Mexico, Texas.
Yeah.
All over. He does speed testing, and he's very familiar with like the network, like how each line, like, so for instance, if you go to AT&T Business, like, he can tell you like where your priority is with the company, and then to tell you like where the prepaid priority is at. Siova's in here. What up, Siova, man?
Yeah. He's at Tech for Needs also. How do you like StreamYard? I mean, I'm liking it. Right now I'm still on the free version. I'm not paying for it just yet. I think probably by the next week or so, I probably will. I just don't know if I want to pay for like the full year, because you're going to save money if you pay for the full year, right? Or if I want to do just like the monthly. So that's something that I'm kind of like on the edge about. But I mean, I love the fact that I can do like little things, like have a countdown. Like, I was doing the countdown earlier. Let's see, and I can have banners like, we're back, or
it gets more when you do the because like I'm on the $25 plan. Like tonight I found out, and a lot of guys are probably gonna laugh at me about this, but I found out you can actually simulcast to 3 destinations instead of 2.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I did Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. But with what you're saying, like, with the branding, we have the countdown. If you do subscribe to like a monthly or annual, you'll actually be able to put your own intro in. So instead of using the countdown,
that's what I've been thinking. Like, I want to like insert my own video, or sorry, I'm looking at this guy's comments on the PS5, but old adult film star. Like, what's going on? Like, I have the PS5 in hand. Send me some pics, bro. Send me a pics on the DMs over here. I want to see that. But no, like, yeah, I think that's cool that you can add in like your own videos, and you can add like your own layovers to the pictures that you want as well, or backgrounds. There's a mosquito flying around. And let's see, branding also, like, I can do this, like like anyways, or I can change the background, you know what I mean, which I don't know, like, if I were to change the way this looks to like this over here, you can see that the background, I can change that to something, and I really like that on yours, that you can change that. I wish I can add something, but then it says, see what you're getting on the upgrade. No, I don't want to pay.
You know what? It's actually for, I mean, because you do a lot of lives. Like, before I started doing lives like just about every day, you were doing a lot of them before, and so for that to be an investment, just to kind of bring, more to your channel. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know
it is.
people. They just need backgrounds. They need flashy things to be entertained, and I just never understood that. But I'm not gonna argue it. I'm gonna do it if that's what they want.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I don't know if that's something I would consistently do, right? Obviously, but I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, I think it adds a little bit of element to your live streams, at least. You know what I mean?
You in the background, right? It's like right now, when you were talking about AEW, you can have like AEW as the background.
Yeah. Like, I know you can have like a little rolling ad on the bottom also, or something like that, right?
Oh yeah, the little what they call it, the little ticker thing.
Yeah, it's a ticker. I don't see the option for the free version, but I'm sure that like it's there on the paid for version. Yeah, and I could add my own logo also and everything like that. So I think that's pretty cool. Like, hopefully eventually I will do it. I just don't know when, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously, like, I can probably afford to do it. I'm being cheap, you know what I mean? They don't call me budget tech Mike for nothing, right? It's like I want there to be a cheaper platform, man. I'm poor. Just kidding.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty much strapped for it. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much strapped for it too, man. I'm on a budget. Like everything that I get, right? So like, all the super chats that I've been getting, those that hit me up with PayPal, that is going to maintain what I do on streamer. Because basically, like I said, I flipped my channel from doing a lot of videos to just doing podcasts. At this point, because like I want other people to grow. Like, of course, I want your channel to grow more. I want Technoid to grow, Carlos to grow, Cioma to grow. Like, there's a lot of people that I want their channels to go, and like I'm okay with stepping away from doing like videos and like doing jump cuts and all this other stuff or whatever. It just makes it more easier for me just to sit, give you the information, because I talk more technical, and then I get them in the chat to basically interact right there on the spot. I don't have to go into videos and try to like message them back on the question they have. They can ask it right then and there. So it's working this way.
I mean, I like that it's very simplified, you know what I mean? Because prior to this, I was using OBS, which is a little bit more complicated for people that don't know how to use that software, right? And it's not a hard software to use, right?
Crap out of me.
What's that?
OBS confuses the crap out of me.
Oh yeah, it's really not hard. Like once I saw a few tutorial videos, like I was like, oh, this is easy to use. It's just a matter of like inputting the correct information in the right areas and then moving screens around, because you could actually like move stuff around. And I actually like it because like you can actually change like the screens like several times, and you can put hotkey buttons like on your keyboard as well, so that like you can just press like 1, 2, or 3 on your keyboard and it'll change like everything, or it'll turn things on and turn things off, you know what I mean? So I guess for me that was pretty okay, you know what I mean? Let's see. Tech for Need, you're everywhere, man. Latrell Jennings, welcome to my channel. I don't think I've ever seen Latrell. I don't know if he's familiar to you, bro.
Sub to him too, bro. Sub to him too. And then Latrell, if you're not sub to Mike, sub to Mike.
Yeah, like he's saying OBS is easy enough once you figure out a couple of things. Yeah, and I know there's two different versions of OBS. There's one more for gamers, and then there's just like a regular one. I'm gonna go let my dogs in. I'll be right back. Say hi to the guys.
Yeah. I appreciate y'all coming in too. You know what I mean? Like that's dope. If you guys haven't subscribed to B Tech Reviews, go ahead and hit that subscribe, hit bell notifications so you guys get notified when he goes live. But I would say if anything, if I was to describe Mike's channel, it'd be kind of varieties in a way, because I mean he does talk tech, he does review phones. He's got several phones that he's reviewed.
Got the Pixel 4 right here, by the way.
Yeah, I dropped my little piece today in a podcast on it. Yeah. But I mean, besides tech, you talk wrestling, current events. So you're more of a varieties channel too. Just a lot of your content is based on tech, so it stays in that realm.
Yeah, actually, if you look at my I don't know if you've ever seen the webpage Social Blade, right, where it kind of gives you like information about. Well, hello, hold on, I'm like out of the shot there. Where it'll tell you like it'll give you information about the person's channel, and like for me it says like it's more of a lifestyle channel now, but before it said I was a tech channel, and I had a tech ranking. I was like ranked, I don't know, like 1,000 or something in the tech, but now I'm like, since I'm not there anymore, I'm not considered a tech channel, or they don't consider me a tech channel. I'm just like, I don't know. But the cool thing is like they grade you also, and like I'm graded like a B+. So I think, even though I don't have that many subs, I'm still graded pretty like decently compared to like other YouTube channels that have way more subscribers. You know what I mean? So I'm here because of you, Tito, from the link on your Twitter. Well, thanks for posting the link, Rob. I really appreciate that. Let's see. I got my Pixel 4a on one too, Galaxy Fold, OnePlus Nord, everything with me right now. The OnePlus Nord, you can't buy it in the US, right? I think that's a phone that's only like international out there.
You can get it imported.
Yeah.
That's what people did when they wanted it. I think there is a version coming to the US, but it's a little bit watered down compared to the international. Yeah.
Bam, worm be gone. Are you talking about my dog, RFK Tech?
No, there's a bit of beef between two people in the chat. So.
Oh, do I have to mute somebody or what?
No, as long as they keep it straight, there would be no reason to. But it's your channel, man, so you govern it. If you don't want that on here, man, just
well, I mean, I don't see any drama going on right now. But I mean, you're a moderator also, so I mean, if you want, you can hit that up as soon as you see it, right? But let's see. The OnePlus Nord is a beast. Yeah, I remember seeing Marquez's video on it, and it looked like a pretty. What's the price range of that? I think it's still like what, around the $400 or $500 mark though, or no?
It's like 400.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think I would probably still get the Google Pixel 4a just because, like, and dude, I freaking love this phone, by the way. I really wish I could make this my daily, but I'm so invested in my iPhone still that I just can't. You know what I mean? But it's like, I love the way this feels in the hand. This reminds me of like the Nexus 4 and the Nexus 5 in a way. Yeah. Where it's a very good phone to fit in your hand. I did take the case off, by the way, because I did have a case on it, but I love the way this feels without the case as well. It's not too heavy. It's not too light. Yes, it has a plasticky build, but the thing is, it's not a fingerprint magnet like some other, matte phones that you would get, right? I'm jealous. I got the cheap version, which is the 4A, but this still takes beastly pictures, man. Like if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen the pictures that I've taken.
I got a video dropping that because like I showed people like today in the podcast, like that took photos with the 4A and the 4, and I was trying to show them that the 4A's colors is vibrant, and I was asked if it was actually the photo or was it just like the color representation from the display of each device. So I went out today. I went on a lunch date with the wife, and then I took photos of everything with both phones, and I sent them to my Pixel 3a and popped the photos open on that phone. And yes, the Pixel 4a is vibrant, but my video that I am dropping probably Monday is actually going to show that. So the 4A
okay. Well, I would like to see the difference because obviously, I mean, I know that the 4a it does still have one of the sensors from the 4, right, or which the main sensor. But regardless, like I mean, really, like, is there going to be a main difference to me? Like when I do reviews now on phones, then I feel like I hardly ever do reviews anymore. Right? I really just focus on like how it takes pictures now and how the video is, because I'm really more into like shooting video with camera phones now, you know what I mean? Or at least I want to see what the video quality is. That's really what I'm looking at now. And like I really love how this shot, but if you go look at like the comments on one of my videos, this guy's like, he's like, oh, it looks horrible. Like, thanks for putting this video up. He's like, now I'm not going to buy the Pixel 4a. And I was like, wow, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? Like, I think it looks good. I think it has really good image stabilization when you're moving. Like, it has like a built-in gimbal. There's no shaking whatsoever. And that's just 1080p. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't try it in 4K. I do want to do a 4K test just to see how good it looks. But like, I don't want people narking on me, I guess, because people are just always going to judge, I guess, when it comes to like how you shoot your videos and whatnot. And I don't always take the most perfect B-roll. I just literally go somewhere and I walk around with it, and I'll shoot whatever I see that I see. You know what I mean? Sorry, my dog keeps
perfect though, because like, okay, so this is my gripe with like a lot of major channels, right? So like when they take a phone out and they're like, we're gonna show you the cameras on the Pixel 4, right? And then you look at the video and like everything just seems like, okay, it's been shot with like a gimbal. It's perfect. The editing well balanced. Like everyday consumers don't go outside with camera gear to take a home video.
They're not going to put it on a slider either.
So when like we do it, and we do it with whatever we have, but we do it just basically just like as a consumer would do, you're getting the real deal of what to expect if you buy the phone. So
well, Latrell says it's not a horrible, but it's not all good in my opinion. Well, the one thing that I'm really not impressed with, obviously, on the camera is the low light shots. But even the low light video is not super horrible. It's a little bit grainy depending on where you are and what you're doing, right? But I've seen a lot worse for the price. You know what I mean? A phone that I was really trying to compare it to was the this, which is the TCL 10 Pro, right? And this one has a low light mode on video. That's why. So the video on this looks a little bit better, but you also have to look at it because it's $100 more in price. The build quality on the phone is a lot different, and it has 4 cameras, by the way, compared to just one. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So I mean, people are always gonna nitpick at every little thing. You know what I mean? Oh, it's not that good. Well, dude, okay, what are you gonna do with it? You know what I mean? Like, are you really gonna use it for like just taking video all the time? Me, because I like taking video, right? But like, or is it because you want to use this daily? Like, I think this would be a beastly of a daily phone. You know what I mean? The only thing I would probably gripe about is the battery life on it, right? Because the battery is not that huge of a battery, but I mean, it'll still get most people through a regular day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like the 4A that my wife uses, today I showed the battery stats, and it was 16 hours since last charge, and it had 6 hours and some odd minutes of screen on time. It was actually depends on how you use it.
No, I was gonna say I've had this phone on for like 2 days, just like doing basic things on it though. So I mean, like it's got great standby time. Right now, it's still at like 50%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On 2 days. You know what I mean? And that's because it's linked up with this smartwatch that I have here, and usually that kills the battery more.
Yeah.
So I mean, for the most part, like I cannot complain though. I mean, I love the screen on it is amazing. I don't think it's as good as the TCL 10 Pro's screen, but it's still a nice OLED panel. You know what I mean? For a phone under $400, like you can't beat the screen. Like I really love it. You know what I mean? Like you like that, Rob, right there? Do you like my background?
Yeah.
did you see my lock screen though? Ah, shit, hold on, you can't even.
Oh yeah, Gengar.
Yeah, it's like I used Zedge, but that stupid smartwatch like little app shows like that it's there. I need to get rid of that though. I need to just unsync it or whatever. Tech for your needs. What are you saying over here? Let's see. Pixel phones have half-baked cameras. Why is good only on photo and subpar on video? Remember, people like to grab those moments. That can't be replicated. Yeah, that's true. Also, I mean, I'll agree that it's got a way better picture. It's way better for pictures than it is for video. But I mean, like at the same time, like I don't know. It's the user's preference, right? You know, I mean, you can't really knock on it too hard.
There's no such
especially at $349. $349, I think it's a steal. Like back then, that's how much I was spending on the Nexus 5, the original Nexus 5, and the Nexus 4, which I think the Nexus 4 I paid like $300 for only like 16 gigs of internal memory. Keep that in mind. This has 128 gigs. There you go. Yeah, this phone reminds me a lot of that one, which is the 5X, right? Just a little bit. Although the 5X is a lot lighter in weight.
Because I got this from him. For those who didn't know, this Nexus 5X he sold to me.
Oh yeah, I know, and at the time I got a great deal on it also. So I was like, I'm not gonna use it anymore. I might as well send it to someone. That was your first Nexus device, wasn't it? Also, yeah, that's pretty cool. That was for me. That was my 4th Nexus device, and after that, I wanted to get the Huawei 6P or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and I was like, no, like I don't want to get it because of like the whole like, I guess like lawsuit or whatever that happened with the U.S. or them getting kicked out, I guess. So I'm just like, no, I don't want to mess with that, because that was going on at the time.
I mean, but that's with Huawei devices. So like, I mean, the Nexus 6P was the hardware was made by Huawei, but software is Google, so you don't really have to worry about that. Now,
well, if I can find a cheap one on eBay, you can probably get one for like $60 or $70 still, probably.
Alter Tech.
Yeah, I've thought about getting one, but no, I think if anything, I'll probably get like the Pixel 2 or maybe the Pixel 3. Latrell says Galaxies have the best Android phones, hands down.
This is where he and I will clash. But I know him to be, I'm not gonna call Latrell like a fanboy in that sense, because he will mention Samsung's shortcomings, and that's something that a lot of fanboys won't do. But it loves the Samsung ecosystem and probably understands it, which is why I follow him more than I follow anybody else who calls themselves a Samsung Knight and then talks all good about Samsungs and never mentions anything wrong with them. So that's why.
No, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think some of the first few Android phones that I had were Samsung. So I can't knock too hard on Samsung devices just because, like, I remember reviewing the Samsung Galaxy like Reverb back on Virgin Mobile, you know what I mean? Right? I remember having that phone. It wasn't a bad phone. It was running like I think Ice Cream Sandwich or Jelly Bean, I think, on one of them. Yeah, I remember the Reverb. I also had the S7. I unboxed. Well, I wasn't like I unboxed the A30s, which I thought the A30s was a major improvement from like older devices that I had before. I haven't really touched a lot of the newer devices. I think my brother-in-law had the Note 8 or 9, I believe, and I like the phones, but I don't know. Like, first of all, I've never been a fan of the Note series, just because I'm not a fan of huge phones. Like, anything over 6 inches on the phones is like, it's too much for me already. You know what I mean? I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm a minimalist when it comes to screen size, but it's like, okay, like again, the Pixel 4a is like perfect in hand for me. It's right under, like, it's right above the 5.5 inch mark, but it's not over the 6 inch mark either. I can wrap my finger completely around it like that. So that means one hand usability is a lot easier for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's the user experience. And I remember, yes, the S7 was, oh my God, it was a laggy mess. I agree on that.
Remember the Galaxy Mega?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the Galaxy Mega, the original Galaxy Mega.
Huge.
It was huge, but now that's like normal. You know what I mean? Like,
we gotta remember too, we didn't have an 18 by 9 aspect ratio. We didn't have like a 92% screen to body rate, ratio on that. So back then, the Galaxy Mega with, it was like a 6.3 inch, but like you had the bezels too, which added more to it. So it was like holding a tablet to your head.
Yeah. Okay, correction on Latrell. He says he wasn't saying that they make the best Android phones. He was just saying that they take the best video. I still probably wouldn't agree on that unless if we're going flagships, okay. You know what I mean? Like, maybe the Note 20 Pro or whatever does take the best video. Yeah, I don't know, because I've never taken video with that, so I can't compare. You know what I mean? I mean, like, I have the iPhone 11, which you could consider a flagship, obviously, but this doesn't have all of the sensors that the 11 Pro would have. So, I mean, but it still takes great video. You know what I mean?
Samsung and iPhone's top on video. That's where I see it, and then Pixels is top on still photography.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I never see other reviewers say like that the Samsung, Note series or the Galaxy series phones, like the A20 Plus, or not the S20 Plus. There's so many freaking Android phones out there now, or Galaxy phones. I'm sorry, it's ridiculous. I feel like Samsung is just whoring the crap out of their devices now. Like, every other month they're coming out with something new. Next month it's going to be the 85 or the 86 or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean?
Like all different areas. There is one thing that I will praise Samsung for, and that's for them actually like really trying to bring a very simplistic but good immersive ecosystem. Because when I watched their Unpacked event, I watched the second Unpacked event. The first Unpacked event was a little bit crazy, but the things that you could do, like, they showed how well like the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra played with the new Galaxy Tab, which and also how to use Dex and how much better Dex has gotten. And of course it's partnership with Microsoft, and then as well utilizing Android for the Galaxy Z Fold 2. I mean, there's just so much things that's going on, but the best part is like it's not fragmented like Android's ecosystem. Like, if you were to use Android TV to a Chromebook to a Pixel, that still needs more work. And that's what I'll praise Samsung for. They're really taking it to go up against Apple and Apple's ecosystem, because we know how seamless that is. AirDrop, Apple TV, it's insane.
Yeah, no, I think Apple's pretty much mastered like their ecosystem. The only thing that they're really missing is like a gaming device or something, but they're even trying to get into the gaming on the mobile platforms with the Apple gaming app or whatever you want to call it, I guess. But I mean, for me, it's like, well, ecosystem might not be everything. You know what I mean? Like me, I'm kind of trickling away from like the Apple ecosystem a little bit, even though I really appreciated it when I had it. And I really made use of like AirDrop and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Especially when I was doing video editing on my MacBook Pro when I had it. I don't have it anymore because I sold it, and I still have an iMac, but it's in my office and I don't really use it for editing. I really use my editing for my Windows PC now, and I edit my videos on like Adobe Premiere. But before, I would do a lot of my editing on iMovie, and I was considering spending like the $300 on Final Cut Pro. It just never happened though. Let's see. Latrell says thank you, by the way, for calling him out on saying that he talks about Samsung's shortcomings, by the way. So
it just means that I watch your videos. That's how you know.
Let's see. All right. Let's see. I think Google's ecosystem is confusing. Samsung definitely has a nice ecosystem. For example, you can pull up Samsung's health on your TV and your Galaxy Watch, and we'll send all of the data to it. Well, that's pretty cool. Again, like, and that's the thing, like, you know, me, like, I'm not familiar with stuff like that because I don't have, like, there's just so many devices now, and there's so many little things that you can do on all of these updated devices. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that I've kind of talked about in my other videos, right? For those of you guys who don't follow me, right, like Latrell and I think Carlos Tech, right, who might be new, but like I feel like I've kind of strayed away from following like everything that's going on tech now. You know what I mean? Just because I feel like not a lot has changed as far as what's happening. The only thing that's really changing is the camera sensors and the battery sizes on these, and of course the speed of the devices and the price, because the prices of these devices do not seem to go down, but I mean they are getting better. So I can't knock on them, but I really appreciate like that Google puts out a device like this, that even though it's not super expensive, that it still does a lot of great things. And
I like the direction that Google's going. I mean, don't get me wrong, Latrell's probably gonna hate me for this. This is just my opinion, but Samsung hit an all-time high, charging $2,000 before tax and everything else for the Galaxy Z Fold 2.
Oh my God.
So with Google going away from that price tag with the Pixel 5, the Pixel 4a 5G, and then the Pixel 4a, I think that's a good touch for Google. Besides, they've never really nailed it when it came to like building a solid premium device. So I would rather have Google dabble in the mid-range area for a while until they get a footing to build an actual good premium phone.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that they should just stay in that area around the under 500 mark. Or, I mean, don't go more than like 700, obviously, if you're going to make something. Because obviously, I mean, first of all, they just don't have the popularity that Samsung has, right? Or even other companies like LG, or I don't know who else to compare them to. I guess OnePlus, right? But you know, because they don't get the positive feedback that you get from those other brands and those other carriers. But at the same time, it's like, well, if you're building devices that are still running great and they're affordable and anyone can buy them and not have to, you know, have a lease on their phone for this many years, or they can just literally like, you know, just buy it quickly, you know what I mean? Because obviously, like, I was able to pay out of pocket for the Pixel 3a. You know, I reserved it or whatever. I pre-ordered it and I had the money for it, luckily, you know what I mean? But like, you know, that's relatively cheap compared to a $1,200 flip phone, or the new Z Folds, or the new Microsoft Duos, or whatever you want to call them, I guess. By the way, what are your thoughts on that new Microsoft Surface device anyway?
I don't know, man.
Not fun.
So it's a nice concept. It looks cool and everything like that. But Microsoft, I don't know. To me personally, like, I'll say this when it comes to Microsoft, and some people may hate me for this, but oh well, it's my opinion. Microsoft has a good thing going with Samsung. So I really think that Microsoft should invest more in Samsung, since Samsung is a very, very well-known household name. Going with this device that they dropped. I mean, yeah, you know, everyone's trying to push foldable because, you know, Google's making the biggest mistake. They want to build a foldable Pixel. There's already rumors of a foldable iPhone in the works. Everyone wants to go foldable, and I'm like, we're going backwards. I'm okay with candy bar style, you know, touchscreen smartphones. I don't need it to fold. There's just too many mechanics to go wrong that you have to get your phone serviced. And I service my car. I don't go and service a phone. If it breaks, fine. It is what it is. So like when the Microsoft dropped this, and then I looked at the price, I'm like, okay, you know, you haven't really been in the game in a while. You kind of like, you know, was in the background, and then you hit us with this. It's like what? It's like Motorola with the Razor, the new Razor that was foldable. It was like it came out of left field. It had, you know, mid-range specifications, but they priced it as a flagship. Like, why?
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, that folding technology that has to be a factor. But it's like, really, you're going to charge like $400 or $500 more on a mid-ranger device just because it, you know, you can just flip it, you know what I mean? Which really, to me, it's not right. You know what I mean? I think I like the aspect of the pocketability of the devices, though, and like, you know, it kind of takes you back to that era when, you know, having a flip phone was cool, right? You know what I mean? But like having something that I have to do like this, that's like a Nintendo DS or whatever.
Yeah, cool concept. Pricing is what really kills it. I mean, like Latrell said, you know. And I know you don't hate me, bro. I just say it just to kind of have jokes and laughs, you know what I mean? But yeah, like the Tom Brown edition of the Galaxy Z Fold 2 is $3,000. $3,000 just to have
3,000.
gray with the stripe that's red, white, and blue, and have the the theme of a One UI 2.0, I think it is, to be gray and white, and to have the clarify that, Latrell. Is that 3,000 just for the phone, or is that for for the watch, for the Samsung Buds Live?
Yeah.
If that includes all that, because I think you may be talking about like all those. I mean, all of those are branded to to that edition. But yeah, man. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, it does bring back like memories of the days of the flip phones. I mean, I remember when Boost Mobile had the BlackBerry that was a flip phone, and I tried to get that thing. We had QWERTY keyboard slider phones. I mean, dude, you and I back in the day were unboxing a hell of a lot of Virgin Mobile phones. Going into
I never did a BlackBerry, surprisingly, or anything like a BlackBerry. To be honest, I think the closest thing I got to a BlackBerry was kind of like a cheap knockoff. It was like, I don't remember the brand. It was like a no-name brand Android phone, but it had like half the screen, and it did have a keyboard. And I think I ended up selling that phone to like my cousin or giving it to him just because he needed a phone. You know what I mean? But that was like probably the closest thing I got to a BlackBerry. But it was running like Android 2.1 or something like that, or maybe 2.2. Yeah. And it was just like very buggy, and it didn't work half the time. It would always die. It had like a horrible battery, and I felt bad afterwards because my cousin, like, he needed a phone, and that phone always kept dying on him. And I was like, I'm sorry, bro. Like it was just, it was a mistake on my end. But yeah, I mean, it was, man, I miss those days. I miss those days of just doing all those random unboxings.
Those are fun. But anyways, man, I gotta jump out because I do gotta sleep. But if any of you guys want to take my spot, if you guys want to join, just let him know how he can reach you, and then he'll send you a link to join him on the live stream, man.
All right, Rob. Well, I really appreciate you having here tonight, man. So again, good luck on the future streams for you, man. I think they're doing very well. So I really appreciate you. Again, kind of motivating me to start doing more live streams because I was in a rut. You know what I mean, with the whole coronavirus thing, and I just kind of had been down a little bit prior to that. So, but I mean, again, man, thanks for trying to get me more out there. Hopefully we can do some more collab streams in the future, man. And I'll be on for a little bit longer.
More collab streams, man. I'll come back to your channel. When I got some downtime, I'll let you know when I have my downtime. If you're doing a live stream, I'll definitely jump on, because besides tech, I watch wrestling. So we can.
Oh yeah, yes, I know. Back to the wrestling talk, by the way. No, that's okay. No, but I'm probably going to be done for the night also, guys. So again, it was good to have you, Rob. And again, I do work early in the morning as well, so I just wanted to get on for a little bit, chit chat with you guys. I've already been on for more than an hour. I can't do those 2-hour live streams like you, man, or like 5-hour live streams.
4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours. My bad. I think one of these days I'm going to try to push for it, but I'll probably do it like at my studio or something like that. And I don't know when it's going to be.
Everybody on. Like, we'll have you, me, we'll bring Lawrence in. We'll bring Lawrence, the one that's Chanel 808 Hawaii Life, and then Carlos. Maybe we'll get Latrell in. We'll get everyone in. If you upgrade, and then you can have more people in than 6. So we'll have
that's a lot of people, but it does keep the chat going a lot longer. So we'll see how that goes. Screaming like Flossie Carter out there. You know what? Okay, so many people mention Flossie Carter. I have never seen a Flossie Carter YouTube video. Okay, so never.
Give him homework. You gotta watch one of his videos, and then you gotta tell us who White Shoes is.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll have to go through the videos and figure it out, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see, guys. But again, guys, thank you all for being here tonight. I really appreciate Rob being here in the chat again. And hopefully we'll see you guys soon. 10 people for the paid version. What do you mean 10 people for the paid version? People keep saying things, Rob. What's happening? The dude streams for like 7 hours straight. What the heck? I don't know. I love my White Shoes.
Yeah, that's your assignment. You watch one of Flossie Carter's videos, and the next time we'll ask you what's White Shoes, and
all right. I think I'll do that right now. But again, guys, thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate it again, Rob. You guys have a great evening. Get some rest. And as Rob would say, aloha.